Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. First of all, I would like to tell you that if you are watching this video first time, subscribe my channel to see my more upcoming videos on analysis of different commodities and equity indices. And second important thing is to watch this video till its end to understand this thoroughly to take your decision. Your one like will motivate me to be regular in working more hard for you. Let us start the day to analyze the movements of S&P 500 futures in different time frames. So friends, here you can see a daily chart. S&P 500 futures fell from the record highs on Friday after an heavy sell-off in US equity markets due to growing fear of coronavirus could spread. Outbreaks of the illness might increase globally. Currently, the gold looks too steady due to this steep fall in S&P 500 futures. So here I find that this zone from the levels of 3345 to 3301 is a bootstrapping zone where the S&P 500 bulls stuck in this bootstrap. So here I find that the S&P 500 futures start looking for an excuse for a correction. So this I find the beginning of a correction which may continue during the upcoming weeks. Friends, here I find that if the S&P 500 futures find a gap down opening on the first trading session of the upcoming week below the levels of 3292, we will see the S&P 500 futures to make an upward move where we will see once again the S&P 500 futures will witness heavy sell-off above the levels of 3303, from where this downward move may continue once again up to the levels of 3261, where they will find an immediate support. But here I find that this sell-off may continue below these levels, where an important support is at the levels of 3245. But I find that a downward move below this red line, here you can see, if the S&P 500 futures make a downward move much sharper than we think, below this downward trend line will confirm the continuity of steep downward move during the upcoming week. So friends, here be ready to see an action in the S&P 500 futures. Why I feel so bearish in the S&P 500 futures for the upcoming week? Because here you can see that this sharp downward move has created an unusual correlation with S&P 500 index and S&P 500 futures. So here you can see a daily chart of S&P 500 futures and S&P 500 index. So here you can see that this line represents the movements of S&P 500 futures, and whereas this candle chart represents the movements of S&P 500 index. Here you can see the S&P 500 futures have moved below the S&P 500 index, which confirms the continuity of a downward trend in S&P 500 index, where I find that this downward move may be steeper during the upcoming week due to the end of an unusual correlation of S&P 500 futures with gold futures. Now let us have a look at the daily chart of S&P 500 futures and gold futures, where they have been maintaining an unusual correlation since December 4, 2019. Here you can see that after coming downward up to here, the gold futures maintaining an uptrend along with the S&P 500 futures up to here. But now I find that this unusual correlation between the S&P 500 futures and gold futures has come to an end, where the gold futures look ready to make an upward move above this point, and the S&P 500 futures have started to make a downward move which may continue with this departure, where the S&P 500 futures will maintain a normal correlation with gold futures as usual. Here I find that the steady gold looks evident enough to show the prevailing bearishness in global equity markets, where the S&P 500 futures may continue to move downward if they find a downward move below these levels, where they found some strong support on January 6, 2020 in a downward move. If the S&P 500 futures break this immediate support what they tested on January 6, 2020, I find that the gold futures may test the levels of $1620 during the upcoming week. So friends, be ready to see an action in S&P 500 futures and gold futures during the upcoming week, because the volatility may extend in global equity markets during the upcoming week. So friends, if you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.